So we see these villages and they're all working together. The people are in unison. They're trying to rebuild from this terrible war that has brought down the riverlands and the people in it. The violence and the hardship they've all endured is very clear, but they're willing to work together to build on a community project to further everyone. It could be a grain hall, a windmill, or some kind of sept. And then we have this kindly man that we're introduced to, and he seems really nice and genuine and friendly, and he's had this really incredible vibe to him as he brings the people up around him to help them as this community feeling to bring things together. We have people cutting up wood, gathering food, preparing things. These people bringing in logs. Motherfucker, the hound's back! Hey, it's King King. Now, last episode, we got this introduction to the Hound's character before we had the opening credits of Game of Thrones, so I did the same in this episode. Now, I've been a strong believer in the Grey Dirker theory for a very long time. Now, I've never been entirely convinced on Game Ball, but after this episode, it is very much firmly in my heart at the moment that is a strong possibility for the show. But there are some people who have been telling me that this whole conflict that is rising between the Hound and the Brotherhood Without Banners could lead to the reveal of Lady Stoneheart very late in the game. Personally, I believe the introduction of Lady Stoneheart at this point is not necessary whatsoever. We've had a lot of characters come back that we thought were dead, like the Hound, Jon Snow, and things like that, so bringing back every single character that everyone ever liked, like Robb Stark and Lady Stoneheart and all that kind of stuff, would make the show seem like it had no consequences, and all the deaths and something that happened to it had no backbone to them whatsoever. Saying that, I'm deeply interested to see where the Hound storyline takes him in the show.
The king mentioned that since your reunion, you haven't joined him in the marriage bed.
Now, I've been a fan of Margaery and her influential and awesomeness that she brings to the King's Landing storyline. I'm really excited to see how she plays this whole dynamic between her and the High Sparrow, because it's very one-sided in the High Sparrow's favor at this point. She can't control Tommen, she can't control anyone else, her house has to leave for their own protection, and Cersei's no help whatsoever. I also love how the High Sparrow just pretty much needs a booty call for Tommen. Like, imagine this little small timid boy going up to High Sparrow like, "She's not having sex with me. I like sex. Can you ask her to have sex with me?" Like, the whole undertone of this entire interaction with the reading of that passage with the mother and stuff, her interaction of how she has to be faithful with Tommen, is all this whole misogynistic and terribly conflicted views of how they saw the woman's duties and positions in King's Landing and the whole realm of Westeros. Not only does she have these other challenges I listed before, but also the fact that she's a woman and she's expected to have these duties, and it ties her down just as much as has Cersei in the past. Now, before you feel sorry for her though, you gotta remember, she's a rich noble person who's also queen, so I don't think she's in the worst position. So we move on to this scene between Margaery and the Queen of Thorns, Olenna, my favorite. She's amazing, you know that. Now, I was quite afraid because she understands that the High Sparrow is outplaying them and beating them, and I didn't want her to come to any harm for that. But she was resilient, she was willing to go out for her children and stay with them. But Margaery's like, no. I can handle this. Trust me. Put your faith in me. I will do this for the house. And she has to finally let go and be like, okay, I will leave for my own protection, and I will bring this all down to you. It's on you, Margaery. It's on you. And so will Tommen, repeatedly. Oh yeah, Olenna ripping into Cersei. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. Loved it. She was playing all the cards right. But backing Cersei and staying with her was never going to be a good idea. She's getting more statistically crazy, like a psychopath, and I can't wait for that to bubble up and explode, and Olenna's going to be nicely removed when it does, which is absolutely the best scenario I could think of. I was afraid that she'd get caught in a crossfire because she is one of my favorite characters in the King's Landing storyline at the moment. I didn't want her dying because of Cersei's fucking outrage.
Denied.
Next we move to this awkward conversation when Jon's like, actually I need your help for something else as well. You know, these people who hate you and think that you're terrible wildling savages, that they want to be able to kick off their land because you're a dangerous menace to them. You know, they're coming to kill you, so let's go kill them first. Yeah, but it's not really our fight. Actually, it is your fight. Nah, it's not my fight. Snow. Well, I'm sold, let's go.
Now that is a sorry attempt at a siege. Someone needs to teach those sad twats how to dig trenches.
Someone certainly does.
Yas! Bronze back, boys. I'm really fucking sorry for that. Now, with Sansa sending Brienne to Riverrun, and Bronn being there as well, the two pillars that bring up Jaime's best character is there to support him, and hopefully they will be able to stop him from this whole Cersei crazy obsessiveness which has been taking him over, which I hate about him. Now, I like Jaime because of his complexity, and he has his problems, which is Cersei and stuff like that, but I would like to see him overwork those things over the series, and that's the thing he needs to be moving forward with, you know. Him getting over Cersei and bringing back that best character is the development I want to see, you know. I liked him because he was flawed, but I would like to see him get over some of those flaws so he can move on and progress as a character. Also, the phrase making fools of themselves, absolutely brilliant, I loved it, good stuff. Now, I knew the Blackfish was going to be brilliant characters this season. I've been looking forward to him for a very long time. It's just turned out to be everything I wanted from him and more. Now, it looks like, if you've seen my preview breakdown, there's going to be a ton of awesome shit happening next episode around Riverrun. I won't go into it because you can watch that video if you want to go into that kind of stuff. But it's going to be really awesome, and Jaime's character is going to have this huge battle between his loyalties and his conflicts, and this whole, you know, huge scenario with Riverrun, Blackfish, Brienne, Bronn, and Jaime is going to be intense, and I can't wait, because the setup for it looks amazing, so I hope they can pull it off in the next episode.
What you have to understand, my lady, is that...
I understand that
Boss ass bitch. Really had to stop that. Now, I really like the Mormont scene we got this episode, and that character, she's the epic, absolutely amazing acting. She pulled it off brilliantly, couldn't expect that any better from a Mormont. It just showed the character and the values of their house so well. The only possible negative I can pull out of this is that awesome cinematic shot that we got of the castle doesn't actually reflect the Mormonts. It's described as like a slightly large wood hut, but other than that, absolutely brilliant. The characters played really well. It showed the biggingness and the eagerness and like the vulnerability that both Jon and Sansa have to the northern houses, and how they're giving up so much to be able to support them when they've lost so much already. Every single one that supports them, from the wildlings to the houses, is giving up the last of their troops, the last of everything, and the very survival of the hundreds and hundreds of years of history to support them, and it's all down to them to pull it off. Now, I'm going to talk about Davos for a while. A lot of people don't like Davos for some reason. Like, I think that he's overstepping his responsibilities, and the way that Sansa kind of pulled it up a little bit was pretty nice, because I like to see the shows checking themselves, that he's been giving up too much responsibility and too much investment into this, but I guess he's just going for the only boat he can go for the moment. I really like his character. I really like what he's doing. He's got his right. He's never really changed his moral code apart from bringing back Jon Snow, which was a bit iffy, but apart from that, he's stayed with his kind of real character, and he's going for the side that he truly believes is just. And even though I expected him to overreact a little bit more about Stannis' death, but hopefully he come back to that at some other point. Yeah, I can't blame the Glovers for that at all. It really reflects exactly the situation that the Northern House is put into. They put immense pressure, the description that Jon Snow said to the wildlings, where he's like, I shouldn't be asking you to support me, but we have to, is exactly what he needs to be saying to all of these lords, because he shouldn't be. They've done too much for them already, and they lost. And the feeling is you want to give up, you want to stop this war, you want to have peace, but sometimes it is worth fighting. And we see that with the Hound and how they all got massacred off, and he had to go with revenge and stuff like that. And it shows that being passive sometimes does not always work. There are enemies you do have to fight. That's something George R. R. Martin, even though he's a hippie who hates war and loves peace and stuff, he says there is sometimes something you have to fight, and when you have to fight, you can't back down. The Northern story is very much being plot driven this season, and it's going to be growing in huge potential. I think it's going to hit the fan at episode 9 with the Battle of the Bastards, and then clean off at episode 10.
Nothing on the Iron Islands has an ass like that.
Okay, so I really enjoyed the Greyjoy scenes this episode. This whole Ironborn mentality is we take what is ours, we will take these salt wave, we will take these things, plus Yara getting amongst the men and fucking a whore and shit, that was pretty cool, and this whole tough love between Yara and Theon was immense. Quick word of advice, never use this ever with someone suffering from PTSD or depression. It does not work. They will 90% of the time take the terrible option. The other 10, they won't man up anyway, but they will be too fucked up to kill themselves. But at the least, it did work for Theon in this tough, fucked up and crazy world that they live in of Westeros, so, you know, it makes a little bit more sense. But it seems we're going to get some of the old Theon back, which is cool because he'll be this awesome new helpful character, but he won't be as smug and arrogant as he was before because he's learned from his experiences, and that's what our character arcs are for. That's why, even though he's done all this harm and this terrible shit, he's willing to resolve over it to accomplish things. Also, any scene with whores in it, just get 10 out of 10 for me.
You can have a hammock in steerage.
I want a cabin, and we'll leave at dawn. See you at sunrise.
Okay, so this Arya stuff was pretty interesting. She's moving on, she's showing her skills of how she can steal money and be able to look after herself. She's heading back to Westeros, she's moving on her character line, and then this bitch, like as soon as that old lady walked up, I knew immediately that it was the waif. Immediately. She was even creepy as fuck as an old woman, and she was approaching him when we know that everyone in Bravos just ignores what everyone else is doing unless directly confronted. But do not worry, Arya is not dead. She is not dead. She is an amazing character, and she has this really awesome story that has a lot to tell us, but it's not over. I think if it ever came to an end, it would be by her perma walking into Nymeria, but that's far from now, and she's got a lot to do, a lot of reunion to do. She's Arya Stark. She's always been Arya Stark. She's never accepted this no one religion, and no matter how much she's trained and stuff, she's built up skills that help Arya Stark, but she's never become no one. And that's the main thing that we've been looking for the whole season. Now, I don't know why they wasted so much time and even killed someone over her, but the Spaces organization has this really interesting dynamic, and I feel like there's something going on that we don't know about. This could be the theory where people believing that the waif is actually just like another separate part of Arya, this no one part, and she's like self-internally fighting herself, and that's the whole thing that she's going through here. And she stabbed herself in this garden, and she falls over, and she's going crazy and shit like that. But that's probably a bit out there for them to explain, so I feel like they're going to be more grounded for the show at least. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing a Q&A for once this season. I was planning to do some before, but me doing the preview breakdowns has kind of taken away from that. So I promise you'll be doing one either this week or next week. So I need you guys to give me questions. Use Q&A : in the comment section below, so I know that you want your question for the Q&A, and I will try and answer those in a video as soon as possible. You guys have been awesome for the support. I love you all. Yeah, that's a bit creepy, but I love you all, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which should be the Q&A, unless I'm a lazy piece of shit, and you can tell me I'm a lazy piece of shit. Also, have you considered subscribing to the channel, because it's apparently really good, and puts out amazing Game of Thrones videos. And I hear he's doing a Q&A? Don't trust that, though. So just